Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we continue to say that any of these episodes may be the final one. All we really need to do is bring our prosperity up, and our prosperity has been dropping somewhat of late, and we determined that this is very likely to be because these houses over here have been downgrading. They need more pottery. So we were working on getting some pottery going up over this direction, and the plan is to put in eight potter's workshops here. So we're going to put in this, and then that goes here, and then that's going to go around to here. So that goes all the way around here, and then it will eventually come down over here. But we need to get these chinampas done first. So getting the chinampas completed is, of course, a high priority, but we do want to get our... where are we? Kiln. We want to get a kiln here. And then none of these others are currently eligible to be put in. So for now, that's okay. Now, do we have a delivery of clay up here? Yes. Do we have a delivery of pottery? Yes. So that sounds good. This is going to be accepting pottery right here. I'm also noticing there's some maintenance issues out over this direction. So we may want to consider a mason yard somewhere around here. And I'm thinking we can take this stone road out this way and try to like link it up over here, right? Kind of like that. Oh, that doesn't work. It would have to be linked up here. Like that. Then we can try to fit in a mason yard somewhere out. Can we fit it here? No. We could fit it here. And I guess that would work. Okay, so that seems reasonably fine. So we've got these kilns going in. But the chinampas over here really do need to get finished. We're not really getting very much timber up over this way right now. And that's very interesting. I'm wondering where the timber is going. As of right now, I don't really know where the timber is. It's not making its way all the way up here, which is definitely telling me it's getting consumed somewhere. We've got timber here. This is getting timber. What is accepting timber from these? Is that down here? Yeah, accepting timber, and then this is getting timber. So we're accepting the timber here. Noted. Well, we're definitely having a bit of a lack of timber up in this area. So to that end, we could put in some sawyers up here. We could put in a sawyer about here. I'd like to not delete trees here where possible, but there are some here that we almost certainly are going to have to delete. We could do something kind of like this, and all of these should be reached by this porter yard. So we can switch this over to accepts timber over here then, like that. And we'll get those sawyer yards online as soon as possible. That will provide a lot of timber to this region. So that'll be fine, in theory. Fine-ish. But we definitely need to get more pottery production online. And getting timber up over here is very much a high priority. So for right now, I'm going to have this be on getting timber, at least until those sawyers are actually operational. Okay. So some of the sawyers are operational now. I'm going to switch this back over to accepts. I don't think we ever actually brought any timber in here, unfortunately. But we can have this be on accepts, and we can start getting some timber production up over this way. So that seems reasonable for now. I'm keeping an eye on our maize situation. We're still slightly positive on the maize, so that looks good. But we want to get these chinampas finished up. That is still a very high priority. And this kiln out over here is not in an ideal location right now. It's definitely not. Can't really reach this porter yard, but it can kind of reach it, I suppose. So for now, that's okay, but we're going to want to do something about that. And the something that we're going to want to do is run proper roads over here. We just need to get these chinampas finished. So eventually, we'll get these going. We do want to get another stone road section here. And then this is going to be stone road out over here, but we need more chinampas right here specifically. But now we can put in our additional kilns here, and that will be fantastic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 8. There we go. We'll connect up this section of road and make sure that the road is coming in over here. And then all we need is this little area over here. So now we should be reaching this porter yard. I think we were technically previously. Actually, we're now connecting right here. That's very rude. We could put in a porter yard here. Have this porter yard be on getting for timber. This one can be accepting timber and then getting clay and stone. And then this can be set to accepting pottery, and this one can be put over to getting pottery. And I actually think that's a better way to handle this. Because that way, this porter yard, which is responsible for delivering pottery to this large market, is capable of getting pottery from places other than this if we have surpluses elsewhere, right? So that seems like a good way to go. These guys are not going to have anywhere to deliver their trees, in theory, but once this porter yard is finished, it'll all be good. So that looks good. We're definitely doing better on our job count at this point, so that looks good. But we need staff to come in up over here. We will be able to grow these common homes back up as we get our pottery going here. We need to get this clay in, and we need to get this timber in as well. So that'll take a little bit of time, but we do have some timber coming in over on this side. I want to get these chinampas finished so that we can get the stone roads built. That's going to be the top priority here. So our prosperity is continuing to drop. This is probably because these houses are just continually upgrading and de-upgrading. And there's this down over here now. That needs pottery too. We've got a pottery shortage going on in our city. And these staff members over here. That's interesting. They're not getting clay down here. So it could be that we require additional clay production. We can certainly put some in. That's not an issue. So we can get a clay pit right up over here and boost up our clay production over on this side. Now, that is theoretically going to here. But we can also put in some clay production up here. That's not an issue. We can put in a little bit of clay production right up over this direction. And that would mean that this border yard would be switched over to accepting clay. This border yard mostly serves this area. So even if our clay production over here isn't sufficient, we should be mostly still getting clay up here. And the idea is that we would put in at least 2 clay pits, with one going here, no, here, and one going here. This is not an acceptable location, but this would be. And then we can put one up here as well. So then we can have a stone road that comes out like that. And that'll be a lot of additional clay production up here. Plus, there'll be this additional clay pit here. Okay, so that'll get us more jobs coming in here. And yeah, I think our main issue isn't necessarily that we need more clay production. We do need more pottery production, and clay distribution, I think, is a bit of an issue. But I think more clay production will definitely help that. Okay, so now the question is, are we getting staff up over here? Well, one thing we can do to help that staff is we can definitely run our road like this, which will mean that these are a lot closer to these houses, right? So that'll be a lot better over there. So that seems reasonably fine for now. And we'll see if any of these guys start working over here. But we do need to get more pottery online. Now, we need to have this stone road connecting in over here. That was always the plan. So that's now done. And we could put more housing up over here if we really feel like it's necessary. And I'm looking at our number of jobs versus our number of commoners. We actually have overshot. We don't have enough commoners. So putting in a couple of additional homes up over here is probably not a terrible concept. We can put in like one here for right now. And this cistern reaches up to here. So if we were to put in a well dipper right out over here, this well dipper will reach both of those new homes and should be upgraded by this cistern, theoretically. So that well dipper will go there, and then we can put in a sweeper and sentry post right here to provide base level services. We are not going to be reaching this market, but we can put in a small market up over this way. Now, we've got this border yard here, and we've got this border yard. This border yard will provide us most of what we need, other than the cloth. This is full, but we can absolutely be getting some cloth over here. Otherwise, we've got furniture here. We've got pottery here. It should be reasonably okay. We can expand this into additional housing up over this direction if we feel it's necessary. For right now, I don't necessarily feel like it's necessary. But we definitely need some jobs up over here, and upgrading these houses again will go a long ways towards doing that. I'm assuming this cistern is actually going to... Is this based on the piped water? Piped by the stone roads? And is that piped water carried over the aqueduct here? I don't know. We'll find out. If we need a cistern up here, it's not a big deal. We can definitely put in a cistern up here. So we've got 8 commoners here instantly. I like it. And then up over here, we still need access to this market. Yeah, we're working on it. Okay, so that all looks fine for now. We're getting that underway. We've got 8 residents here, 8 residents here. We definitely want to get some of these people to work out over this way. That's for sure. Some of our buildings are lacking clay. Yeah, I'm aware. No doubt about it. Can we put in more clay production down over here? I wouldn't mind it. I mean, we could out over this way. Yeah, we could definitely do something like that and then run just regular dirt roads out and around kind of like this. Might be a little far away from some of our housing. I'm wondering about where the basin over here is. So the basin is here. I was just thinking, do we think we could fit in a house in here? So this would be a common home that would go there and then would just connect up like this, right? Although I'd want this to be stone road, to be honest. So it'd be something like that. Just fill in this little area here. And the question is, will that be reached by this basin? The answer is no, by 1 tile. Okay. I'm just looking at the range of this cistern here. It's not quite far enough for what we would need. So this guy is going to struggle. But what if instead we took the road in this way? It's going to be a little less efficient space-wise. But that might actually get us the distance that we need. So this basin, yeah, the basin now reaches it if we go this way. So that seems good. And then we can put in our gardens back over here. We only need 2 of them, apparently. Okay. That seems reasonably fine. So let's get that in there. We've got the market right here. We've got... I mean, we could put sweeper and sentry post up over here. That's absolutely fine. So a sweeper and a sentry post right there. Cool. That seems reasonably okay. Prosperity is continuing to drop here as our clay continues to be an issue. But we can see that these kilns are now starting to come online. That is very good. And this common home will get an upgrade soon. This one wants more education, and what can we do about that? Well, we've got basically this one around, right? We could put education up here. I think up on this side would be the better way to go because I don't want to cut into our trees out over here. So I think education about here in possibly the most awkward place possible, right next to the clay pit. I love it. So let's get that in there. And our prosperity is continuing to drop. This is because we're building new houses and they need to upgrade. So this house has everything it needs for the moment. That looks good. And then this clay pit out over here, we're waiting for staff. This common home will get filled up soon enough. I hope. I see that we're about right on our population. And then over here, we can see our maize stores are currently growing. We'll keep an eye on that, but that's definitely a good sign. All of these kilns are now active. This house is upgraded, and this out over here will upgrade shortly. So that looks good. Down over this direction, we see that these houses, well, these houses need to upgrade, but they have everything that they need for the moment. So that's looking great. We definitely need to get more pottery in, but for now, this is looking good. So this is accepting clay. This here is getting clay, but this does actually reach every single one of those kilns. So that will be ideal. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. I mean, it doesn't look great, but it's extraordinarily functional. It does work pretty well on that front. Now, I don't think this well dipper is actually going to get upgraded. So to that end, we could simply put in a cistern right here, like that. And then run a stone road like this, and now it's fine. And then we could put more housing here if we felt like we really needed to. As of right now, I don't think we actually need to. We do have some houses that still need to upgrade here, right? And I would very much like to do that. This one has upgraded a little bit. Yeah, they're not maximum, but they're definitely doing better. So we're up to 51. These houses out over here need to upgrade. I'm just comparing our number of commoners to our number of available jobs. We're really close, but I think a little bit more housing here would not go amiss. I'm going to put in one more house there. So I think we need just a little bit more housing up in this area. I'm assuming that'll be reached by this basin. Yes, it will. So that'll be reached by the base level services out over this way. That all seems good. Okay, we're running a small deficit at this time. I'm not terribly shocked about that. We'll see if that continues to happen as we continue to export. Now, we could back off on our clay exports, but honestly, I think we're better off just increasing our clay production. Down over this direction, there's definitely an argument to be made that we should have a home over here somewhere. I'm going to take a road out over this direction, with the question being, how far does this cistern reach? Technically, it reaches up over here, but this is another one of those aqueduct issues. The idea here is that I want to get a basin up over here. And that would, of course, mean that we need to put in a well dipper somewhere like here. And then I want to take a stone road down this way and have that link in kind of like this. Then we would need to have some chinampas out over here because this would then become housing in this area. So we'll get that underway for now, and the real question here is, does this well dipper upgrade to a basin, right? Or do we need to have a cistern somewhere up over this direction? That is a possibility. Theoretically, this cistern is in range of this well dipper. Theoretically. And this well dipper doesn't really have anywhere to deliver anything right now, so that's absolutely understood. That's not a major concern. But I do want just a little bit of additional housing out over here. It really doesn't have to be much. I feel like we're so close here to just watching our prosperity explode. But at this point, we are running a deficit. And that is a significant issue. So this pottery export, of course, was a big part of what was going on there. But again, I don't want to cut our exports because we're running a deficit right now. What I do want to do is I want to increase our production. That's much better for us. So that is the goal. Out over this direction, we might run into an issue with having enough diversion. We'll see. But down over here, I do think a little bit of additional housing is the way to go. So we'll put in some housing. I'm only going to do 2 for now. We've got room for more, but I'm only going to do the 2. I don't want to overexpand our housing over here. But we do need a sentry post and a sweeper. This should reach all of that. That looks good. And this well dipper is not currently upgrading. So that's noted. We could run an aqueduct out this way, theoretically. So what I'd do for that, honestly, I'd just connect it in here. And then we'd need to run it out over this way. But we would need to do chinampas for that. That's going to be a bit of a problem for us because we're going to need to chinampa like all of that area, but we're going to have to take back a lot of this, right? For the time being, we can get started on it, but it's not a huge priority. Upgrading our water over here would be good. You have access to a market. You have access to a sweeper as well. You'll be fine. So that seems good for right now. And I'm wondering about this home over here. Okay, improvements are under construction. That seems good. And we probably could use an additional mason yard somewhere out over this way or even up over here. I'm going to put it here for now. And we'll get that stone road up to there. And that'll just help repair this area. It should be fed by this border yard. Everything should be fine on that front. So that looks good, and we'll just slowly work our way through chinampaing over here. The idea is I want to put in the cistern about here-ish. I'm not sure if that's going to fit exactly where I want it to. Let's find out. I'd like it to go there, but that's not going to happen. So it's going to go about there. So that means that we need to chinampa up to this row. So that's certainly going to take some time. No doubt about that. For now, we can mark it off. So we can do stone road like this. This is a lake tile, awkwardly enough. So that's going to block us a little bit. But we know that we want this to be our road right here, right? So I can block that off about like that. We could build canals here temporarily on the outside. And that's an interesting idea. If we built the canals here, we'd want them to be stone canal. No, stone canals don't change it. Regular canals would go in like this. The only purpose for this is to accelerate our ability to chinampa. From there, we can do that. And then we can come at this from 2 directions. We can keep the canal. The canal doesn't have to be removed. So that's absolutely fine. But that will accelerate our ability to chinampa this area. And this is where the road is going to be. So actually, we are going to need to chinampa out over on this side, I think. No, wait. The aqueduct is going to be coming in like here on this row. So this should be fine. In theory, this is all we need to chinampa. In theory. We're going to want to chinampa more, but this will be okay. So our prosperity is 54 right now. These guys over here want more education and more diversion. None of that is a surprise. So I do want to chinampa a little bit out over here and reclaim a little bit of territory over this direction. So diversion and education. We can definitely put in an alcove over here as it is. That's only a 2x2. So that can go right there. But education is a little tougher for us. We are going to need to get these chinampas finished because that's a 3x3 building. So that's okay. We'll slowly work our way through that. So we can now connect this up over here. Looks good. And is there anywhere else over here that we can connect up? No. But we can do more chinampas over here. So we'll get those underway. That's fine. We're just reclaiming this area for now. We don't necessarily need all of it, but we want to get some of it going anyway. So we definitely have that pottery online. Our prosperity is still down, but that is because of our new constructions, I think. Locations like these. They both want more education at this point, but these chinampas are going to be finishing up, and the plan is to put in an education building right there. Beautiful. So that'll be fine. That will solve their education problem. And that will also reach some of this down over here and take some of the strain off of this one, although its service usage is only adequate. I'm a little surprised by that, but sure. That seems fine. Of course, we also still have this deficit, and that's a big part of what we've got going on. So we want to absolutely get that deficit dealt with, and the real question is, where is that coming from? Well, some of it is definitely coming from our import of Megui. We can see that we're not importing enough. We need more of that, that's for sure. What else are we importing? Well, there's this out over here where we're importing obsidian and salt. But honestly, our obsidian and salt is doing pretty okay. We don't need all that much more over there. So that looks good. These homes have everything they need now, so that's great, at least for now. And our Chinampas are continuing out over this direction. So I want to get our aqueduct built over here, and we know that we're going to want it to be coming in like over here, right? So we want to just queue that up something like that for right now. We're going to need more Chinampas over here. And this is going to be a little bit awkward over here because it's going to be set back by 1 because of just the way the cistern is shaped, but that's okay. So at this point, we can put in more Chinampas over here. Just continuing to work on that. Excellent. This can become a bit of road here. And we don't need to upgrade this probably. This road could be upgraded, but it would need to be Chinampa'd for that to happen. For the moment, I don't think that's strictly necessary. However, we can absolutely put in another piece of aqueduct right there. And the cistern is going to be going in here, right? And that means that this from here over does need to be upgraded. So we'll get those taken out, and we'll get stone road put in over here, but we need to get Chinampas here, like that. Then our aqueduct can go in like this, and you can see, not down here, like this. You can see that connects directly into where the cistern outlet, or rather inlet in this case, is going to be. So that looks fine. And we'll just get that underway, but we need more Chinampas to happen. That is a very high priority at this moment. However, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to continue to work on our prosperity. Things are going to get somewhat better for us in some ways, but I'm not sure exactly how yet. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge SPL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.